Wait, don't you want to dance it in?
Yeah, I do. I want to
I
shake
felt
my
like
booty.
dancing it in. I felt like dancing it in because that song, I don't know why, that song is really nice. So you're just going to watch us dance and get started. Right? I like that. Get used to that flued out logo, y'all. We got our t-shirts and we were able to sell our first set of t-shirts at the Journey to the
coffee.
Rebels of Disclosure conference. It was so much fun. But if you're in the audience, let us know. Give us thumbs up. And
yeah, that was 2 weeks ago already.
I know. I was like, maybe we should talk about that. I was like, wait a minute. We talked about that last week. And that's all we want to talk about. Like, I'm still feeling the waves of, and then connecting with people still. It's definitely like a domino effect because I saw Robert Gardner. He did just an impromptu video on Facebook saying, hey, friends, this is what I do. I'm coming out of the closet. I go to UFO conferences. And then Randy Uber, she came out of the closet and she was like, I was inspired. And I was like amazed because I was just thinking of the power of what if each one of us just, in these waves trickled out and said, hey, we're coming out of the closet. We're going to UFO conferences and we believe in the truth and we believe in doing our research and healing our spiritual vessels. So this is us. Well, accept us as we are.
I will tell you, I've been in the closet for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And you make yourself a little nest in the closet and you open the door and then you see who's out there and then you walk out and then you walk back in because it's when you are embracing this aspect of the truth, it's outside of everybody's norm. And none of us want to be shunned or why do you believe that? And, there are people who are very strong in their beliefs and they're very vocal. I'm not one of those. So I had to just open the door a little bit at a time. And, when I met you, Erica, I had to step out.
Wow.
But it's not easy stepping out of, it's not the closet.
Wow. Yeah, so that was Robert one morning. And then a day later, there goes Randy. So that's what's going on in the galactic news. Folks are coming out of the closet. We are here. And we are queer. Yeah, we're strange. That's what queer means, is actually strange. We're different.
Yeah.
I remember that book, Something Queer is Going On. It's an old book from elementary school, and it was like a mystery. Something strange is going on. So something queer is going on. Yeah.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah. And it's a neat word. It's a neat word. Queer is a neat word, although it's, over the last, couple of decades, it's taken on a different meaning. But I think going back to the root of it and using that as Stranger Things, it's kind of on the strange side.
Wow.
A little bit
Stranger Things. I like that. So I'm going to put that on there anyway, because I like when we share words, because words that people don't necessarily always use.
So shall I pull a card and see what our...
Yeah, just pull cards on everything.
Okay.
So the first meaning of queer was strange, odd, unusual, funny, peculiar, bizarre. That's how we grew up. Eccentric, unorthodox, uncanny, unfamiliar, abnormal, atypical, out of the ordinary, mysterious, mystifying, puzzling, incongruous, a freak of nature. And I think that's where that came about, the secondary meaning, because you're calling that person a freak. But bizarro, I don't mind being in bizarro world. Yeah, let's do it. Bizarro.
Okay. So I actually, based on that, I drew 3 cards from the Gratitude Oracle. And it's interesting what the cards came out as. One is companionship, relationship, and confide. So I think when we talk about coming out of the closet, in the sense of exposing who we are, we, when we're by ourselves, we require like companionship, you know. So in other words, when we have companions who think like us, so when we go to these conferences, we're surrounded by people who are along the same wavelengths and thought processes as we are. So they're companions and they inspire us. And the relationship that we build with them, right? We build this relationship, whether you're housemates or your roommates or you're sitting at the dinner table and chatting, you begin to build a relationship that ends up allowing you to be confident in who and what you believe in. And we're always changing our beliefs and our understandings as we gather more knowledge. Then we start to increase our wisdom, right? And so so the confiding comes from being able to talk with people who are like-minded, and that confidence, it gives us confidence by being able to confide our thoughts and think about things. I mean, we have many times, Erica, where we sit and we'll talk about something, and it's just that being able to confide with somebody who thinks like you is a very important aspect. So the community that you involve yourself in becomes very uplifting for you if you allow it to, if you choose correctly, if you choose your companions and your relationships properly. Hey, Allie.
Yeah, it's amazing too. And it's nothing that you have to force anyone else to do. You know what I mean?
No.
I think that'll be the difference. I think it's interesting though too, because whenever people do go through such a movement, they do want to tell everybody, right? And that, wow, I just hit an epiphany too, because you know, as we are like people saying, we gotta open people's eyes, we gotta wake them up to the truth, right? So when you think about the gay and trans community, it's like the same attitude of, we gotta wake people up, we gotta open their eyes, we gotta make them believe as we believe. And it's like, oh wow, but your truth is your truth. It's nothing to change in other people.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to affect other people. That's yours, you know. And maybe that's just it, because even in the religious community, it's like, we got to go make disciples and we got to wake people up, we got to tell them the truth, you know. And you have people knocking on doors and trying to intrude on your space to give you something that you don't want. And it's almost like, not even almost, it's exactly like when you buy people gifts that they don't want, and you give it, you know, give advice that people don't want. When you try to force something on somebody that they don't like eat this pie, and the person says, I don't like peach pie, and you're like, no, try it. It tastes just like apple. And they're like, no, I don't want it. And so the more that you try to push those things on people, the more they want to push it back. But when you're comfortable and confident in your own skin, you don't have anything to prove. Be who you are, express it, but don't try to force it on anyone else, because we try to spoon feed it to other people. Like, did you know Obama this, or or Biden that? And guess what? All it does is arguments, right? But after some time, when people begin to see, people have to see you comfortable and happy in your own life. And that's one of the things that Robert was just talking about the other day too, is how as he went through his healing and his changes, that his family began to follow suit. It wasn't because he came home and said, hey, I went to this retreat and you need to go on this retreat and you need to do that. It was just them witnessing him by example. And that's anything. If you're living a good enough life, people are going to want to know what's going on and how they can have that, because people will seek that happiness on their own.
And I will tell you from experience, there's a lot of people who aren't ready to open up to that. And, you have to be aware that people are not going to follow that. It's just not their time to wake up. And so if you don't, if they don't resonate with you, that's okay. Everybody has their own resonant frequency. And if somebody's not ready to wake up, you're going to be banging your head against the wall. So you know what? You just have to just know yourself and trust yourself and just be yourself, and don't try and be for everyone else. And coming out of the closet is just more about you being more of who you are.
Right.
And not trying to convince somebody else, because they have to be who they are. And
Chris, are you out of the closet? Let us know, Chris, if you've come out of the closet. And also, did you see Randy's video, and did you see Robert's video? Let us know if you saw it. Yeah, it was amazing. And I was thinking, what if everybody just came out of the closet like this? But see, we're just saying standing in your own space, but not necessarily intruding on others. But I mean, we're happy because we hung out, Chris. That was like my first time hanging out with you. I've met Randy before, but a lot of people, Taylor, we were happy in our own space. So you're not out of, but you're on here. We're watching you. Somebody sees you. Are you gonna be worried? No. You're hanging out with a bunch of queers. We're a bunch of queers now. We're strange. We're odd. We're peculiar. We're eccentric. We're different.
We're using the old sayings for these words.
Right. Because that's what it means to be queer, to be strange. Yeah. I must have took it down off the screen, but yeah, to be different, to be strange. Unusual. Yeah, that's what queer means. Queer. There was a book when I was young. It said something queer is going on, and it was because it was a mystery. It was something strange, something peculiar, something different, eccentric. I had a freaking blast. And you in those damn pajamas, those alien pajamas, were so freaking adorable. I just love the fact that, as an adult, my dream was to have those big fuzzy pajamas with the feet in it and stuff. Oh my God. And you found these amazing pajamas. They're amazing. I love it. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Just standing in, but even the thing, I had a friend one time and she said, we need to talk to the men. And I was like, no, we don't, not in that way. We need to, if we talk to men, because you want to think about the patriarchal stuff, like that's another lesson I was just going through my mind this week. Like men, our men, our brothers and our spouses and our sons and our dads, that's not the patriarchy. The patriarchy is a government system where this person is your family member. And so we can't really take that out on our family member, this government system. Like, it's really this weird thing where we're all being victims of a system and not really taking one person as a representation of the whole system. And that was another thing that I was thinking about this week, or that we've been having these discussions about with, even with my own son and his dad. Is like, all the dads are needed, because when people are not present, it doesn't allow for growth and change. The thing that happened to me when I was a child, like kind of seeing the way that I wasn't hugged and kissed and loved and said, oh, you're my favorite, or you're the best, that I didn't pass it down. Instead, I changed it. So no matter what the parent is like the presence of the people, the presence of these, there's that balance of that masculine and feminine energy was balanced in my home because they were both present. And I am strange, but equally balanced in my masculine and feminine, because I had a very strong dad, but I actually had like a very strong mom too, because my mom was more the masculine. I've seen my mom wrestle my dad before, and I was like, oh my God. But anyway, but all of that came together to make me a person who can relate. I don't think we want to be here and be literally afraid of men, and men literally afraid of women. We want to be able to be here together. And it's strange because how else can we elevate if we can't accept each other in each other's spaces? We're not all perfect. Right. We all have like lessons to learn in this whole thing, but we have to be learning from each painful, even from our pain points. We have to learn. I think that's like the biggest part of our learning is from the pain, right? Because hiding from the pain doesn't allow for growth. That was the thing that I was writing about yesterday, is hiding from the pain doesn't allow for the growth. Hiding from the pain is actually attachment to the pain, attachment to the trauma, that you're so attached to it that you won't release it. You won't let it go. But then when you deal with the pain and heal from the pain, now you can be more detached and more comfortable. You don't have to absorb it every time it hits you. You can just observe it. Hey, Jax, how you doing? And so these pains that we've had from men and women in the past, because we're all experiencing pain, if we can grow from it, that's what's going to help us. Because we have to build a community that is accepting, even when people are in the lower levels of learning.
And I think the other thing. Okay, yeah, it's kind of buffering. But I was just going to say, the thing about pain too is we have to detach from the pain. We can't hold on to the pain. We have to take it and say, this is what happened. I don't need to keep myself tied to it. I can learn from it and I can move on. But that memory helps me to deal with whatever comes my way. We don't have to be stuck in that. We can take that as part of our armor, like that's made us who we are, and we can use it in our armor. We don't need to be anchored to that, whatever it was, right?
I'm going to say, give me a vote. Who's buffering? Is it me or Terri? Because sometimes I can't tell if it's me or if it's Terri. And then I lost my track of thought. But anyway, so most definitely, I don't have to scream that I'm a woman to be a woman. All I have to do is just be a woman. And I think that was the discussion that my friend wanted to have. And I was like, no, I don't think we have to do that. I think we have to let's just be confident in being beautiful compassionate, and loving. And who said that? Allie. Just be the compassionate, beautiful, and loving person and hold space for people as we just allow them to learn. And I don't know. It just makes me think of the Mary Magdalene, like the priestesses, because it's really, they did their own healing, but they also held space, love, and compassion. And is I don't know, where are we learning this? I don't know what women are learning on a broad base, but on this community level type thing, it's almost like we need a class in compassion. You know what I mean? A class on the higher heart, on how to love people when they're not where you want them to be. I mean, I think that's something we kind of learn in parenthood, but it's something that we need to emanate to embrace those around us, that we can hold space for them, because we do know people have attachments. But I think we're just learning, cut that person off, get rid of that person, don't be around this person. We don't want to allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by people, but we still have to hold a love for them. There's the heart, where the person is in a close proximity, but then there's the higher heart where you can love people, but you still have to remain with boundaries. Some people maybe you don't have at your house because they do certain things. They maybe, or maybe some people you don't talk to them as often or as much. You don't give them all your energy, but you can still send love to them, and you can still love them. You can still see them in their situation and allow them to go through it, and still love them from that higher perspective, knowing that they are you, right? That's, I was telling people at conference, and since then too, I said, like, people kind of see me in this way, but if you seen me maybe 20 years ago, you'd have been like, dang, she was a real bitch. I was a good person fundamentally, but you might have seen me making a lot of really bad decisions and you would have been, maybe you wouldn't have even been my friend at all. And maybe I wouldn't have even been your friend at all, but over time, these layers break down and we become more wise, make better decisions, and then we're still becoming. And so give people credit for becoming who they are. Meet people where they're at and kind of see it, and then allow them, because there's no quick way to get through that thing, right? They have to go through it. The pain, right? Terri, the pain.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that you touched on here is that 20 years ago, we were different. We were each different people. But as we grow spiritually, then we start to integrate this knowledge that we have been accumulating, and we start to live that now, where we didn't necessarily live it 20 years ago, but we were given that knowledge, like we accumulated it, but we didn't know how to integrate it into ourselves. So it's just interesting, and I'm going to go off topic, but not really. The other day I was just looking through some of my notes from meditation, and we were talking about different rates of what are they called? I can't remember the name of it, but like we see things at on flashes, right? But we can slow things down, and I understood it when I did the class, but now I realize I will sometimes sit in a situation and I will slow it down and see the details, and so though, but I learned that, I don't know, 15 years ago, but I'm just sort of integrating it now more and more and more, and so I think this happens with all of us as we're on our on that spiritual journey. We may have information, but it's not until we start integrating it and using it as wisdom. And as we do, then we can step back and see how we experienced life before and how it wasn't working for us. But it's only in retrospect that we see that. And so as we go forward, we can pick up those pieces and say, okay, it didn't work for me 20 years ago. I'm not going to do that anymore. And we pick up those aspects of ourselves.
And Gladys was saying that she was, feeling really touched, and she said thank you because it feels lonely being strange. And I was thinking about that too, because there's levels to this. And I really got to the point too where I was like, you know what, I can't bombard Terri every time I have every time I break my fingernail, you know what I mean? And I get to this point where I notice that I'm like, I want to run and tell someone. But then, sometimes we can have that talk with the creator, and we can voice that. And I was thinking about that yesterday, how, you really truly are never really alone, because you do have your team, and you can just, I know sometimes in a loud voice, like go out into the backyard and just, like let this thing out. That's kind of why I like to burn the fire too. I'll go out and burn the fire, and I'll walk around it, and I'll just talk. I talk like my team is with me, like the creator is with me, my teams, my angels, my guys, and just talk. But then too, another thing to do, because we're saying I love you, because you'll notice that sometimes you'll feel that tension or pain build up in the heart. And Terri talks about that tapping, but you can feel it like a tender spot when that heart chakra is hurting. It's pain. You can feel it physically, the trapped energy. And you can go into the mirror and just look yourself in the face and say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And guess what? You will bust into tears. And you pulled from the gratitude deck. You will, if you start to just say, oh my God, I'm so grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for the sun, the moon, the stars, whatever. I'm grateful for my, the fragrances around me, the ability to smell, the ability to see, the ability to hear, and you will bust into tears. And that gratitude will open up these chakras and allow you to come back to that space. And the love you have is inside you, and it's awesome. We can get it from others, but we got to remember, that's where I don't want to say that you're a vampire, but that's where some of the vampirism comes from, is because we're not being able to maintain it in ourselves. And so we keep looking outside to get these things that we have inside ourselves. It's maintained in here. And then when I give it to myself and that thing busts open, you'll feel that loosen up in your spine and everything. Now, all of a sudden, you're looking for people to give it to instead of always looking to receive all the time. You won't be in that woe is me, and I don't know why this happened, and you ain't gonna, because I get to tripping, and Terri knows, I'll be like, I can't believe this shit, you get to tripping, but then when you start to walk around with some of the, oh man, I'm so grateful, then I don't have to look outside to be taken. I'm just blasting rays of love. It's like Care Bears, like, yeah. So you weren't prepared for church today, but that's where we hit that point of church today. So, hallelujah. Radiation.
Yeah.
Did you want to pull some more cards, like just a reading, or I don't know what you pulled the card for. You pulled it for something. Did you pull one for me or something?
Just pull. Okay, I'm gonna pull. Since we're talking about gratitude, I'm just gonna pull just some, just a little bit of guidance here.
So a lot of people, and why you're doing that,
based on being able to. Go ahead.
Oh, girl, I don't know if the machine is freezing or what, but just when you want to find the magic, the number one thing that starts all the magic is the gratitude. Because when you hit that gratitude, boom, that springs forth companionship, that springs forth abundance, that springs forth the magic in your life, because you have to first say Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have to be grateful. You have to literally vocalize gratitude in your life before you hit that point. Like with companionship, if you don't have this inside you, where are you going? Who are you connecting with?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, because you're just going to be a pain point to
So
them. Because you know what? When I was just going to say this, I remember a time when I was about 26 years old and I was super depressed and I was so woe is me. And I told my cousin, it wasn't like I didn't have education. It wasn't like I didn't have, I kind of had it going on. It was okay, but I was just miserable. And I wanted to move to Atlanta with my cousin. I was stinky and smelly because I was so woe is me. Like, I'm so sad. And it's like, who's gonna want to help you or, you know, help you with your situation when you're all sad, stinky, depressed, and woe is me? You're toxic to other people, and they're like, oh no, I'm not gonna have her at my house all depressed and weird acting and stuff like that. But when you hit that gratitude point, now you're smelling like a rose, and then the opportunities will come, and people are like, oh man, I love that. Come do this, or you'll see it, a big change. Anyway, Terri's cards.
So I drew. I love you, Gladys. I drew 3 more cards from the gratitude deck. So the first one that came up was between. The second one is prayer, and the third one is differences. So we're each here on this journey into exploring life, and so we can be between places. Right now we can be between 2 places, like but we have to honor that place of being between. Maybe you don't know where you're going, or where, what is this all about. It's just that in between place, and so honor that and be grateful for that, for having that opportunity to explore that. And so be open with it, just to see, like, what are the options. This is where I've been, and I'm on a journey, and I'm between these different aspects of my life, and I'm moving towards something. But that part of the journey is also important. And we were talking about the gratitude, but prayer is so important, and we can do our gratitude in the prayer form, is being thankful and talking to our higher source in that space of gratitude, of being, lighting a candle, lighting incense, playing soft music, and just go into that contemplative, meditative prayer state, and just express the gratitude for the little things, whether it's for the glass of water you're drinking, or the ability to have a warm bed, just those things that we appreciate that we don't always appreciate, and taking the time to do it in that thoughtful and prayer mode. And we're going to come across differences in ourselves, in people, in belief systems, and we have to honor all of that, because it's all part of the creative source. And just because somebody is different than us, thinks differently than we do, it's not up to us to try and change them. We just have to accept them and be grateful for who they are, and shine our own beliefs, come out of the closet and say who you are. But you don't have to have big fanfare. You just don't need to hide anymore. And I think a lot of times we were talking about coming out of the closet with who we are. We don't have to be putting banners everywhere. We just have to be our authentic selves. And I think Ali touched upon that earlier, is our own authenticity. And that's, we can be grateful for that. And, doing that gratitude is, I'm grateful for being authentic. Like you have to feel it, and then you become it.
Emotional.
So that's
I'm coming out of the
message
closet.
that I get.
I'm
from
coming
these
out of the
cards
closet.
today.
I'm emotional. I need all my identifiers.
Hi, Brandy.
That would be so awesome. Like if you just went through a list of what you considered your identifiers. I'm emotional. I'm passionate. I used to just meet people too and tell them like I'm an asshole. Because I was like, I'm nice, but I'm not. And I would tell people like I'm nice, but I'm not. I think it's like I'm nice, but I can be harsh. So I used to just tell people like, "Hi, I'm an asshole." I don't know. I guess they let that word on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, it's so crazy. Yeah, it's so good to see you, Brandy. It's so good to see you and that fat baby. Taking care of grandbabies and stuff. Yeah. Sure, she can pull one for you. Because I think you're not on the Telegram, or do you want her to come into Telegram to do it? I don't know. Terri, where are you? Are you frozen?
Am I still? I'm not frozen now, I hope.
No, you're not.
Okay. Okay, absolutely, Brandy. The first one that got support.
Hold on, Terri, don't do it. Hold on. Do it again. Do it again. No. Do it again, Terri.
Okay. So the first card for is support.
Ooh, support.
Second one is timing.
Oh, wow.
And the third one is possibilities. So, the support that you have friends and family, but your higher self, your team members are absolutely surrounding you, and they're ready for you to take action. So whenever you're ready to launch yourself, the support that you're going to get, not only from the people around you, but from the guides, from your higher guidance, is very strong. And you will, there's an issue about timing here for you. And it's like, you're not sure whether you're ready for this or not. But I think this card, the possibilities are saying, just, it's time for you to go for it. Just like, the time is never going to come that it's going to say, oh, this is now. It's, you know what? You do it now. And if there's going to be a delay, then there'll be a delay, but don't let you be the delay. If there's any kind of delay, it's going to come from outside of you. So don't wait for you to get a sign that it's now. The time is now. This is your timing. You've got the support around you, and there's possibilities that are going to come from it. And don't always think that it's going to be the way that you think it is, because there's possibilities here that you may not have even dreamt of. You may not have even considered, but they're not going to be able to come forward unless you take the time and step into it right now. So it's like waiting is not, even if it's just taking little steps, you don't have to jump right into the deep end, but you can just do whatever you need to do. So, but you have support all around you, physically, but especially spiritually.
Wow. Sean Bond was just talking about that last night, because it's like you might have this project, but it's not ready yet. But when it, when the situation is right, it was more like not going against the grain, because when it's not ready, when things aren't working, don't don't force it. Go with it as it going with the flow. Yeah, we talk about this all the time. Going with the flow, because I'm
right.
seeing when you see things slowing you down like that, it's maybe a sign to take a step back and be like, wait a minute, let me observe. Why are these hiccups coming?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that I need? You know, yeah. Is it Dame or Dom?
A lot of times we're waiting for the right timing. What's that?
Oh, I was trying to ask my friend, how do you pronounce it? Go for it, Terri.
Because a lot of times we don't, we're waiting for the timing. Oh, I'll know when the timing is right. And sometimes we miss out on subtleties. And so when we have the support, just do it. Just take that first step. It doesn't have to be, you can always maneuver around it. But until you've taken that first step, like you can buy a car, but if you don't have a driver's license, you can have this beautiful car sitting in the driveway, but you're not going anywhere if you don't have a driver's license and step and get behind the wheel. So it's just time now to get behind the wheel.
Got it, Dame.
Hey, Dame.
Yeah, I was asking him how to pronounce the name, and I hope it's
So I don't know. I hope that resonates with you, Brandy, Monique.
Oh, Monique, right? Monique. I think that's it. She's the galactic star chart reader. So if you want to do your galactic astrology, she does the galactic astrology.
Yeah.
Dame said, "Hey, Mrs. She's Ms. We got to make sure that people know she's single."
Yeah, Ms. now. Yeah.
She's single, y'all. She's single. Monique says she thanks you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
You want one of those cards? Oh, big single. She said you big, you big single. That's absolutely true. She is big single, okay? We're trying to get her to get some strawberry tips, some pink hair, and get out here. So I'm putting it out there, y'all.
I tried it last week. It didn't work too well.
Okay. She's ready to mingle.
Oh, yeah.
Did you want a card, Dame? He enjoyed your reading. Because we might just get to the point. If we get to the point, we can start just doing them here. But this depends on people.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. It's just wherever people, because it's being recorded, right?
Yeah, I mean, but that's
you can when you, yeah, it's live right now.
Yeah, but and you want
whatever you want to do.
He wants a card. He wants a card.
You want a card game? Okay. Let's see. I'm pulling from the gratitude deck today. It's interesting because this card has been coming up so much today. But okay, the first one is understanding. Second one is differences. This is the one that's been coming up all the time. And the third one is nature's beauty. So for you, Dame, it's like you're coming to a point in your life where you're starting to understand things. And it's like you gained knowledge over the years. But now the wisdom is setting in, and you're getting that understanding, and it's like you will reflect back on things in your life, and you'll get those aha moments, and you'll say, oh, I understand now why this happened and it didn't happen the way I wanted things to happen, or why, what was going on in your life. And it's now having that time of reflection and gathering the wisdom from your experiences. And, there may have been differences with people, with situations, but that was all part of your learning and your journey to this point. It's helping you to become who your soul wants you to become. Those differences were very important for you to, if everything had gone the way you had expected, then you wouldn't have had the challenges to help you to open up to this greater understanding. And nature's beauty, you can look around and you can be accepting of all the beauty, even though it may not always seem that way, but you can appreciate the beauty in situations, in circumstances. You can appreciate the beauty in nature. It's coming full circle for you, that wisdom, where there was always that I'm gathering that there was always something pushing you, propelling you forward, but it's now time to understand all of those experiences and to integrate them into your being, and using that wisdom when you, as you're stepping forward in your life.
That hit hard. That hit
makes
hard.
Sense to you.
That hit hard, because it's like this feeling just rolled through that it's true, like it's painful. The youth is painful. These experiences are so painful, and we can experience so much disappointment, not understanding the bigger picture. And here it is, like you're saying, and this point in life, you're this person, and then you're this person, and like you are all these different people over time. You've changed so much over time, and now you're basically experiencing many different lives in one lifetime. All of this coming together to have this a higher perspective, to be able to see. And boy, oh boy, it allows you to help people. But it's been hard. And I know maybe in the last few years for people, Dame and other people, like, it's been like, how much longer do I have to go through this? How much longer do I have to feel this way? And it's like, now you're like, Lord, I'm tired. You're holding on. But you now made it to this finish line where now it's like, whew, I'm okay with all of that. These are all my parts, and these are all my experiences, and you can embrace that. This is the fullness of who you are. And now you kind of can sit back when situations, they don't hit you so hard, because you can look at, well, when I was this age, like I thought like this, and now you've gained different perspective just being who you are, because you've already rotated all these personalities that you've integrated into who you are, the wholeness of who you are. And is that not also healing the fragments,
Absolutely.
Putting yourself back together to be the fullness of who you are, and give yourself a hug, pat yourself on the back. You've made it. We've gone through a lot in this prison system, but now now we can flip the matrix on its back, knowing who we are and what we've come through. That resilience, you have made it. So pat yourself on the back, give yourself hugs, be gentle with yourself. And when you're looking back at the mistakes, don't count them as mistakes, but you had to go through it. There's no way to skip past and become until you go through it. And so just, like a soldier went to battle and you've come out, now you are victorious. You are strong and resilient. And it is true. They have all these things for a reason. What didn't kill you made you stronger. You are now putting on new armor, and enjoy the fullness of this, what you are right now. And take this as the pep talk, y'all, and give yourself a hug and be nice.
And Dave is saying because it's true, you know, we have gifts, but it's, you know, sometimes we're trying to force our gifts and pass them out, but sometimes we have to like integrate them and realize like, oh, okay, so I might have that gift of healing, of that healing touch, but how do I use that? Do I go and put my hands on everybody, or do I just take that and put my hands on myself and then just allow that information, that healing to come through me, not only with the healing touch, but maybe with the words, with in other ways. So that's where the experience that we've had in life, and when we get a chance to reflect and understand, then we can move forward in through that wisdom that we've gained. And it's not always how we taking those steps and just allowing ourselves to, our higher self to fill us.
Yeah, he said that hit hard. Yeah, we have so many gifts. It's like I'm never bored because you're thinking, I can do this, I can do that. And so we got to actually slow our little brains down and be like, okay, I'm going to work on this. But sometimes it feels like what you're bringing in is so big, like it's so wide. Oh, goodness. I had the sharp, but like what you're bringing in is so wide that it's like, instead of making the one step forward, it seems like, you know what I'm saying, Terry? Like it's I guess they call it lateral moves. Like you make many lateral moves. It's like you're opening the door extremely wide because you have these, and it seems like, dang, I can never get to this because I'm doing all these lateral moves. But it's like sometimes these lateral moves opening the door really wide because what you're bringing in for this next step is bigger. It's big. And so don't feel so bad when you're making the lateral moves. You got many things going on. It's spread out. It's wide. And so now we're stretching those muscles to open the door wider than we've ever. This what is coming in the next year.
Maybe it's not a door. Maybe it's a garage door.
Yeah, you used to going through the front door. Now we got to get the
garage door, not just a small door. Yeah.
Do that too, you guys at home. Do that. Stretch your arms out like that and see how that feels. Flex that muscle because you're opening up. And so do this with the space because you're doing it energetically and you need to do it physically to just absorb that. And it's, you know, you're going to feel the unfolding of your wings behind you. You're moving the air. Speak it out loud. Speak it with a powerful voice. Speak your things into existence. It will vibrate up to the ends of the universe. You understand? You are commanding it with power. Open your mouth. Speak it. This thing that you are becoming, the things that you are doing. And like you said too, make sure that you have the friendships, right? Or that you're in confidence with people that you know support you, right? So I'll be quiet. Anyway, I was just like feeling that. Let that out.
Yeah. And I just, I want to say these readings, when we do the readings like this, you know, maybe doing individual readings, but we're connecting in an energy. So everybody's reading is reflective on the other person, just like for everybody, right? It's for the person that we're doing it for, but it's reflective for everyone. So take the energy from those readings for yourself as well.
Yeah. Because I am you, you are me, we are part of the whole, right? You know, there is no separation. And ascension can't exist if it's separate for men and women or for Black, white, and Asian or young and old. That is not ascension. Ascension is we all reflection of each other. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to go into, yes, as we are all one. And we're going to go to the Women of the Stars group chat and Telegram. Uh-oh. Okay. Hey, Gladys, are you not in the group? It's been a little over 5 months since I've seen. Oh, really?
Sadness and disappointment. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's so funny because, and not in a way funny, but I was thinking about you in the video last night that we made. So, yeah. And that's all I'm saying about that. I was really thinking about that because I was thinking about my own son and I was thinking about your son as well because he's so beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, let's see, Gladys.
I don't know if we said hey to Danny. Danny, so good to see you again.
Oh, hey, Danny.
Yeah, I got all kinds of.
Okay, so Gladys, the first card that came up was wisdom. The next one is energy. And the third one is intermingle. And I pulled another card on that intermingle, and it's showing sensitivity. So you have a lot of, I don't know what the situation is, but you have a lot of wisdom surrounding that situation. And there's a lot of energy around it that is, I see there's a lion here. So it's very, there's a lot of pride with regard to that situation. And you, as a parent, have the ability to see things using the wisdom. You have the remembrances of the situations, raising that child. And also part of it is being able to let go. And we as parents want our children to have all the best. And so we try and prevent them from having to have the fall down and reach the bottom. We don't want to see that for them. But there is an aspect that we have to allow that person to explore their soul's path. There's a journey for that person, and we can't prevent them from that journey. It's not up to us to prevent that. We have to stand in a place of higher wisdom and see and trust that that person is going to see the light, so to speak. And so they're going to have to, maybe this is where that whole sense of intermingling is they're going to have to figure things out. They're going to have to see the energy and figure out what is happening or why it's happening. We can't give them that wisdom. That wisdom can only come from their deeper understanding. And that's maybe where, where it comes, the overall card that comes in is that sensibility. And your sensitivities have to be outweighed by your wisdom. Like you may be sensitive to this and you are from your heart, but use that higher wisdom, connect with the gratitude, connect with the higher guidance, and just invite the energies to come in to bring a sense of peace around the situation. We can't control it from that physical level, but if we move up into a higher space, then invite the energies to bring peace around the situation, and use that higher guidance, use that wisdom to just interact. And so letting go of what you think has to be and allowing the energies to settle in the way that they're meant to settle, instead of trying to control them. I don't know if that's helpful in any way.
I'm betting it is.
Go ahead, Erica.
Am I okay? You can hear me? First, be confident. Mom, we sometimes I hear people say, I'm just a mom, or you have done the work. I met your son. You have done the work. You have done the work. You're not actually here to be perfect. You're actually here to just be Gladys. But you've done the work, and you've done powerful work. I saw your son. I know the way that he has knowledge and understanding. That's number one. You've done it. You've done your job. That's number one. Number two, children, when we go into the world, I went into the world at 17. You're like the prodigal son. He is going to take everything that you've taught him, and he is going to navigate and go through his own situations. He is going to go out into the world, but he's been equipped. You know how they say, be equipped for every good work. He is fully equipped, fully knowledgeable. You have had many conversations with him, powerful conversations. You have exposed him to information that he has the tools that he takes, and now he has to go out there and experience the world. Number three, the thing about this is this. If your parents were these perfect, lovey-dovey people, you would never take your ass outside. You understand? Like if your parents are what, if you were to coddle him. And so I believe that there's a thing that goes on with the higher self and your higher self and his higher self, that this thing where you act out, where he had to leave, is you guys have a deal. Remember that you have a deal. So don't feel bad. You have a deal. You guys made a deal, and you have taught him how to protect himself, how to be knowledgeable, how to navigate. And so at some point you had to eject him so that he can go. Your son is a powerful and intelligent man, and you have to eject him so that he can do exactly what Terri said. He must make his own experiences now, right? Because he's gonna go out. He's actually gonna be teaching other people. He is gonna be striking people. Oh my God, like he's so different. He's so strange. He's so different from what is normal. And he has to go out here and make these connections and have these experiences. And there's nothing left to do but just to love him from where you're at, right? And even that, when he has enough time, he'll go come back and give you a hug and thank you one day for what you've done, what you've put into his life. Because you're an amazing mom. Trust that you're an amazing mom, no matter what you have been there, and you've been dedicated, and you've loved him, and you've poured into him information and energy. Where we've talked about this, Terri, how some people haven't had a chance to be a parent, like they haven't had the time, but you've put in the time. So know that you've done your job, and now it's time for him to go do his thing. And that has to happen sometimes. Sometimes we do things and we're like, why did I do that? Why did I say that? And it's like another aspect of you steps in and does this thing. This is the time it was necessary. So just know that. And he loves you, girl. He's not gonna just like lose love for you. When I understood when I had my son, like no matter what, how mad I am, I still love him. That's like the only person I can't unlove. I can't unlove him, and he can't unlove you either. It just is. You know what I mean? You've done it, and be rest assured that it's so powerful. Even with our mistakes, he will love you, because guess what? That what do you call that? Unconditional love. You've given him unconditional love. He will give it back to you in return. Some people haven't been taught unconditional love, but given it, you will receive it. It's okay.
And just one other thing is, don't hold on to what happened. Let it go. Just take your energy back and send his energy back to him, because you don't need to anchor whatever happened back, I don't know, at Christmas or whatever. Don't anchor that. Don't anchor your energy in it. Let that energy go and forgive yourself and forgive. Words can be stinging, but they're only words, and let them go, and just bring in clear energy. Just open up and let the divine energy flow to him, to you, and just let there be peace around the situation, and don't hold on to what was said or what happened back then, because the past is past. You can't go back to that. So just let it go. And that's a hard thing for all of us. And so, if anything, it's just releasing what happened and just sending peace and love to the situation the way it is now.
That's it. How do you say it, Terri? The prayer. I'm sorry.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Please forgive me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. You can do that with any situation.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Whatever, those four sentences, however you put them. But they're very powerful.
And it starts.
Yep.
Yeah. Got that gratitude. Gratitude turns everything around, because even be grateful for this. That's also a lesson for you as well. So we're getting out of here. 1:17. We're getting out of here.
Yep. Hello, Deborah.
And I know y'all like that cartoon. We like that cartoon. We're going to play that cartoon again so that you can have fun watching us getting flued out. Remember, we got the t-shirts now. And
love you, Gladys.